Hello all, welcome to Coder. Today let us solve the Lead Code's weekly contest problem 316. Weekly contest 316, which is the minimum number of operations to make arrays similar. You are given two positive integer arrays, nums and target of the same length. In one operation, you can choose any two distinct indices I and j, where I and j can be inside the range between length nums dot size, and in one operation we can reduce the element to be 2, or you can increment the element to be 2, and two arrays are considered to be similar if the frequency of each element is the same. So return the minimum number of operations required to make nums similar to target. So the test cases are generated such that nums can be always be similar to target. So you are given these examples. Let us try to analyze these examples and then try to do the code. So for this example 1, the nums array is nothing but 8, 12, 6, and the target is nothing but 2, 14, and 10. So you can you can make this, so you can increment 6 twice. So one possible way to do is, it is possible to make num similar to target in two operations. How? You can choose the index 0 and 2, this index 0 and 2, and make this 8 to be 10, and this may make that 6 to be 4, and you get the array 10, 12, 4, and you can choose the index 1 and 2. The index is 1, you can increment this 12 to 14, and you can decrement this 4 to 2, and you have reached the target, which is 10, 14, 2, which is actually the elements which are present in the target. So this is one example, and you can see the example 2 is nothing but the source array is 1, 2, 5, and the target array is 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3. Let us try to sort them 1, 2, 5, and we can try to sort the target also 1, 3, 4. So you can want to make this 1 to 5 to be 1, you want to make this 1 to 5 to be 1, 3, 4. How you can make this? 1 is already present, so we don't want to increment or decrement by 2. So 2 can be incremented by to 4, and 5 can be decremented to 3. So you can see that you formed this target 1, 3, 4. So the frequency of these elements are same to the target array. So how we can do this? Obviously you can note one point, that this 3 can form only this 5. This 4 cannot be formed this 5, because the even numbers can form only even numbers adding up 2 or decrementing by 2, and the odd numbers can be forming again an odd number only if we increment or decrement by 2. So we have to separate by their odd numbers. Obviously we want to separate by their odd numbers and even numbers, because you can never form an even number to an odd number. You can never transform an even odd number to an even number. That is logically correct, because you can never form this 2 by 3, you can never form this 5 by 4. So that is the catch here. So what we can do is, we can have an we are going to form this 1 to 5 to 1, 3, 4. You are going to form this 1 to 5 to be 1, 3, 4. First we can separate the odd and even numbers. So we can name it as odd 1 and even 1. So the odd 1 elements are 1 and 5, and the even 1 elements are 2. And similarly the odd 2 elements are 1 and 3, and the even 2 elements are 4. So you can see that obviously you can both the odd one dot size and even one odd one dot size and odd 2 dot size will be same, and even 1 dot size and even 2 dot size will be same, and the elements may be equal or may not be equal. But once you sort the arrays in ascending order, all the four arrays in ascending order, obviously it will be in some ordering. That is, this one can be forming this one in minimum steps, and this 5 can be forming this 3 by minimum steps, and this 2 can form this 4 in minimum steps. So that is what I am mentioning here. So even 1 array and even 2 array, we can let's sort them in ascending order. Once we have sorted them, each operation we can choose two indices and we can either increment by 2 or decrement by 2, and we are considered that two changes as one operation. So what we are going to do is we can first count the number of operations, total number of operations, and finally we can just return the number of operations divided by 2, that is the number of changes that we are going to do. So the answer will be the total number of operations, total number of operations divided by 2. So that we know how I'm saying, let us see. This one is already equal to this one, so we can move to the next index, and the difference between this 3 and 5 is 2. So the difference between this 3 and 5 is 2, and the total number of changes, total number of moves that I make is 2 by 2, because I am incrementing by 2 or decrementing by 2. So we can find the absolute difference between them, and divided by 2 we will give the number of operations. So what will be the formula for the number of operations? The number of operation is equal to the total difference. The absolute difference of odd 1 minus odd 2 of I divided by 2. So we will get the number of operations, and we can accumulate the total number of operations, and finally we can return this answer. So you have this 5 can be decremented by 2 once, and then we will get this 3 and divide. So the difference is 2 by 2, which is 1. So the total number of operations is 1 here, and then the total number of operations is to make this 2 to 4 is nothing but the total difference divided by 2. So the total difference is 2 by 2, which is 1. So the total number of operations is nothing but 2 now. So the total number of operations is nothing but 2 till now. And finally, I said that formula for finding the total answer is nothing but total number of answers total number of operations divided by 2. So we will get 1. So we have got the answer 1. So this we can be proven for every case. So now let us try to code quickly. So the main thought process here lies here is finding that odd and even number. So we can declare long answer, which is initially 0, and we can take the size as well, nums dot size. After that we want an odd and even arrays. So we can declare an vector of int o1 o2 e1 e2. So for int I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Now if my nums of I is an odd number, if that nums of I is odd, then I will put in my o1 dot pushback of nums of I. Else that particular number is an even, so I will put in e1 dot pushback of nums of I. Similarly, I can say for the target of I also, if my target of I is an odd number, I will put in my o2 dot pushback of target of I. Similarly, if it is an even number, I will put in my e2 dot pushback of target of I. So now I have all the 4 arrays. Now what we can do is we can just sort the array in ascending order. So sort of o1 dot begin comma o1 dot end, and we can just we can just copy paste this and just change it. Odd 1 is sorted, odd 2 is sorted, then even 1 is sorted, then even 2 is sorted. Now after sorting all the arrays, we are going to find their absolute difference, and we are going to find the total number of operations. So what we can do is I can have another variable total operations. Operations is nothing but initially 0. So for int I equal to 0, I less than o1 dot size, odd 1 dot size, I plus plus. I want to find the first difference, int long long difference is nothing but absolute difference of O1 of I minus O2 of I, and I have the difference now. So operation is nothing but plus equal to plus equal to the difference divided by 2. So this is going to give a total number of operations. So similarly I'm going to do it for even array as well, even 1 and even 2 of I, and finally we are having the total number of operations. So the answer is nothing but the total number of operations divided by 2, and finally I'm going to return my answer. So we can try to use the example test cases and run our code. So we get 210. Let us submit the code. Super, it gets accepted. Hope you like the solution. Let us see into next week's weekly challenge as well. I will put it in weekly contest playlist. You just check it out. Until then, bye.